Yes, I started off the video with me hydrating myself. It's a lot of channeling today, guys. So, this is going to be Mental Health 103. Okay? Make sure to watch all of the mental health. I've dropped already 2 videos on the stages of growing through your mental health and spiritual journey. But usually when you start your mental health journey, you start a spiritual journey. It's usually like a 2-in-1 type of thing, 3-in-1 too. Technically it's a 3-in-1 because you're dealing with emotional, mental, and spiritual. So it's kind of like a 3-in-1. But this is Mental Health 103. This is the growth stage, where you're sprouting and seeding. So the other ones before, which were you're being planted, that was the first video. That was 101. 102 was grow your roots. This one is sprouting and seeding. So those 2 stages, you are in darkness. Everybody's journey is different, or marathon, since I've been on that type of thing. Everybody's marathon is different, everybody's journey is different. So you have to understand that don't compare yourself to next gal. Like, your race is your race, your journey is your journey, and it's not anybody else's. Okay? So let's get into it. Now, those 2 videos, 102 and 101, mental health, were about being put into darkness, when God decides that he's going to put you into darkness so that you could then, and it's crazy, I just recorded Nipsey Hussle's motivational video, and Grinding All My Life just came on, right? Yeah. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price, want a slice, got to roll the dice. Okay? Grow. This is the theme of this one, is growing, right? And the 102 video, it's the roots are growing underground, so they're in darkness. No one can see the roots growing because they're underground. This video is where you start to sprout, because now your roots have grown so deep that now you are sprouting. Okay? So I'm excited. This energy has me really excited. We have, this stage begins when the roots system supports growth. Once the roots grow deep enough, the plant will grow upwards and start to sprout. During this period of growth, the plant is no longer in its darkness. Therefore, has to go through photosynthesis, where it uses sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to create oxygen and energy in the form of sugar. And it accumulates resources that will be needed for the next stage, which is flowering and reproduction. But we're not at that stage right now. We are at growth, okay? Okay, so it says photosynthesis is compared to getting used to the new you after you've been planted, coming up to get sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. So this is you after you've done your shadow work, after you have been put through the darkness, and you walk through the darkness and you fear no evil because you understand that God is with you. That's that's Psalms 23:4, right? But that's not exactly what he said. He said, as I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil because thou art with me, right? That's Psalms 23:4, right? So this is you coming up to now get sunlight, in comparison between a plant and who we are, because a plant is a living thing, just like we are living things. So this is you coming up to get sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, which means friends, family, lovers, whoever. This is you introducing the world to the new you, because you've just sprouted, right? So the wow, Glow Up just came on by Meek Mill. I'm this not making this up. This is Pandora. Glow Up just came on by Meek Mill. So it says, you're coming up to get sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to help you grow substantially because you just sprouted. So something I have written down is pay attention to those around you that act weird to the new you, because in order to continue to grow, grow, there needs to be no change in water or nutrient intake, right? So once a plant sprouts up, right, out of the darkness, you have to continue the same regimen until it starts to grow bigger, and at some point will have to be repotted, right? But until then, you want to keep the same consistency of keeping up with the plant, right? Now we're talking about a plant, let's do comparison to a person that has just came out of the darkness, the 2 stages of darkness, right? Now they are showing themselves to the world, the new them. Pay attention to the people that don't mix well with you. Even I don't care how long you've known that person. I don't care if that's your family member. I don't give a fuck who they are. Pay attention to how they act to the new you, how they react to the new you. Because at the end of the day, you've just sprouted. So you've been in darkness, which means you've been mostly by yourself. You have disconnected from people. You have disconnected from friends, family. You've disconnected so you can work on yourself. So you need to pay attention to who and what acts funny. And now you have to basically test the waters with everybody, because the people that you might have connected to before, you might not connect the same, because you're a new you. Some people do not grow. They stay stunted in their growth, or they start to wither, right? So if that happens, you're growing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the dead fruit will fall off by itself, type of energy. But pay attention, because people will tell themselves for free. So you have to do is sit back, quiet, continue to grow, and pay attention to who starts to act a little funny when you start to grow. It's very simple. Because remember, you need the same nutrients that you had during. You need the same nutrients. So you need consistency. That's what I'm going for. You need people that are going to be consistent, okay? And positively consistent. Just because someone's consistent doesn't, if they're negative, then you don't need that person around you, because they're negative, okay? And you will feed off that energy. And a plant that just sprouted should not be attached to anything that is negative, because again, rotten fruit that's attached to other fruit, even if it's not rotten, will rot the fruit. It's just, then that's how nature works. And it's the same thing with energy. Think of your energy as a currency, okay? Blood money is blood money. You take blood money, then you get what I'm saying? It's the same mindset. So I have, this stage is mostly for the stem. Branches, so this is when we're talking about there's no change in water or the nutrient intake. This stage is mostly for the stem, branch, and other leaf areas. For new and freshly sprouted plants, you must have lots of basic ingredients / nutrients during this stage. So you got to crawl before you can walk, right? And then you have to walk before you can run. It's just a process of life. So it's the same concept of you're freshly new. You've just sprouted. So now you have to get used to the air, because it's a new you. You have to get used to the people, because it's the new you. Even if you've known those people for years, you still have to get used to it, because this is a new you. They might think you're the same person, which means they're going to treat you as such. But once you've grown, they can't treat you as such, because they can see, most people can see when you have changed. Whether, they accept that is on them. If they can't accept you, then they have to go. You have to cut off what is dead so that you can continue to grow. So now you go from soil to fertilizer when you start to peak. When the plant starts to peak its growth cycle. Nitrogen is needed to produce the green pigment in the leaf. For the initial seed leaves to emerge, this is found in healthy soils and is a very important nutrient. The nutrients needed and provided this stage will support growth of your plant through the stages to come. They provide a strong foundation of primary plant nutrients, which is important for the vegetative stage. This is what I mentioned before about flowering and reproduction. So yes, you're sprouting, it's beautiful, but when I think about soil, right, I'm thinking about when we're talking about in physical form, like with actual people doing comparison, I'm talking about the people around you, the things that make you who you are, your values, your morals, your integrity, like the things of substance, right? So when you start to peak, you still have to have you still have to have nutrients that are giving. So it means that once you've gone through your darkness and you're growing your roots, 11:11, I just saw that, you have to be around people that will contribute to your growing, right? Because healthy soil is important to grow, because there's a difference between dirt and soil. I believe I said this in the last video. Dirt is dry. There's no nutrients. Nothing grows in dirt. But if you put something in soil, it has something to pull on. Soil, you get what I'm saying? It's that type of mindset. So really pay attention when you start to sprout as to who and what changes and who and what works for you now that you are new, a new you, and you have been, let's say, reborn, right? Pay attention, right? Because your environment is very important once you've just sprouted. So yeah, feed yourself what is positive now that you've sprouted. Pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to, you know, who's for you and who's not for you. And I don't care if you know that person for 10 years. I don't care if that's your fucking family member. If that person is, you know, that person doesn't mean you well, or you know you cannot grow with that person, you need to let them go. Because, and the song that just came on is Green Light by Young Dolph. This is your green fucking light. I saw 12:42 on the clock. This is your green light. Everything a go, nigga. It's the green light, right? Everything's a go. It's a green light. Like if it's green, go. If it's red, stop. Rethink it. And then when it turns green, go. Very simple. If the shit is yellow, it's a fucking warning sign. Once people start showing warning signs, yellows, there's a lot of yellows, then you need to decide if you're gonna stop at the red light or if you're gonna go green and you're gonna go. And that's just what it is. So look, like I said, your soil, which will turn into fertilizer at some point, surround yourself with love. Okay? Last thing I have for you is, what is planted in each person's soul will sprout. Don't let that go over your head. So this is Mental Health 103. I think it's sprouting and seeding. Yes, sprouting and seeding. The growth stage. The physical growth where people could see you or have grown. So I hope this helps whoever needs it, and y'all have a blessed day.